When she arrived at the parking lot, Charlie discovered that Orville was standing next to Elsa's car. The place where the car had been scratched yesterday had also been repaired. When Orville saw him coming, he hurriedly greeted him and said respectfully, "Mr. Charlie, are you still having fun?" "Not bad." Charlie looked at the rear of the car a few times, and when he saw that the repaired one was the same as the new one, he said, "You are good." Orville said hurriedly and respectfully, "Mr. Wade, there happens to be an auto repair shop underneath, and workers are asked to come over with tools for the construction. Are you going home? Do you need me to send a few people to escort you back?" Charlie waved his hand quickly and refused. "You go if you are busy, and we can go back by ourselves." "That's okay, if Mr. Charlie has something to do, you can find me at any time." Orville arched his hands, and then left with his men. Seeing this scene, Claire couldn't help but shook his head and said to Charlie, "I don't know what demon these people are. How can I treat you so respectfully?" Charlie smiled and said, "Can't it be my own ability?" Claire gave him a blank look and said, "What's the skill of feng shui mystery, right? The more they believe in you now, the more they will find that they have been deceived in the future, the more vicious the revenge will be. You'd better be careful." Charlie smiled and didn't argue. The three got into the car and drove towards the city. On the road, Elsa asked as she drove, "Claire, are you two going home or where?" "Go home." Claire said, "If you go home and take a good rest, you will be resurrected with full blood on Monday." Elsa nodded and said, "Then I will send you two home first, and then back to the hotel." Claire asked in surprise, "Are you still living in hotel?" Elsa gave a hum and said, "Where else can I live without a hotel? I have always lived in Shangri-La." Claire asked, "It's very deserted to live in a hotel alone? Why don't you buy a house in Orus Hill?" Elsa smiled bitterly, "It's more troublesome to buy a house and live by yourself. It's better to live in a hotel. Every day someone cleans up the room. You can directly call whatever you want to eat. The dining staff will bring you to the room. The clothes will be sent to me after drying and ironing." For people like Elsa who have a lot of money in her family, she spends money to save herself time and energy. Claire asked again, "Then what's going on in your family? Has your cousin targeted you lately?" "Nothing." Elsa said, "I filed a complaint with my family before, but they said that there was insufficient evidence and they could not be sure that everything I said was true. But now my cousin seems to have stopped a lot, and dare not do anything to me." With that, she looked at Charlie in the back row through the rearview mirror in the car, and made a "thank you" gesture. She knew very well in her heart that it was Charlie who had warned those of the Dong family who wanted to target her, and they had restrained. Therefore, Charlie really didn't know how many times he had saved her. Claire suddenly felt a little distressed for Elsa, a good girlfriend, who came to work in Orus Hill by herself and could only live in a hotel all the time. She also suffered betrayal and hunted down by her family. Thinking of this, she said to Elsa, "Elsa, the White family gave Charlie a villa, which is located at Thompson. When the decoration is completed, I will reserve a room for you. You can move in and live with us." "Really?" Elsa asked very excitedly. Claire smiled and said, "Of course it is true. I am your good girlfriend, can I lie to you?" Claire and Elsa, two good girlfriends, soon made a reservation about living together in the Thompson villa. Both women were very happy, but Charlie was a little depressed. Claire is really innocent, she doesn't know Elsa has always thought about your husband. Here she invited her to move to the villa to live with, silly wife. This is to lead a wolf into the room. However, Charlie couldn't explicitly refuse this kind of thing, and he didn't have a reason to refuse. Therefore, even if he is unsatisfied, he can only hide it in your stomach. Elsa was very happy. Because in this way, she can get along with Charlie day and night. In that case, the possibility of herself and him is much greater. The car drove downstairs to Claire's house. After Charlie and Claire bid farewell to Elsa, they got out of the car and prepared to go upstairs. At this moment, an old master saw the two get out of the car and hurriedly walked over to meet them. Charlie saw that it was Tianqi. When Claire saw Tianqi, she was immediately very excited. He greeted him and said respectfully, Mr. Shi, why are you here? Last time you saved my father, I haven't had time to thank you. Tianqi hurriedly waved his hand and said, Mrs. Wade, you don't have to be polite. She did not dare to take credit for what happened last time. I came here this time because I have something to do with Mr. Charlie. Then let's go upstairs and talk? There is also a good tea from my father's collection at home. You are here, and he will definitely take it out to entertain you. Claire invited. Tianqi smiled and declined. Thank you, I just want to say a few words to Mr. Charlie, so I won't bother Madam Wade and your father. Seeing that the two were polite, Charlie didn't end there, so he immediately interjected. Claire, go up first, let me talk to genius Dr. Tianqi.